Tuesday, December 13th, 2022. The time is 2 p.m. We're meeting for our weekly business meeting. I'm calling this meeting to order. In attendance are Commissioners Filios, Brooks, and Duncan. And if you would please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Jody, would you?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Jeez.
All right, any changes to the agenda? All right, hearing none, we will go ahead to the approval of meeting minutes. I would take a motion.
I move that we approve the meeting minutes 1 through 4.
Second.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. Motion passes. Item F, which is our consent calendar. Motion, please.
I make a motion that we approve the consent calendar, which is items 5 through 11 on our agenda. And a motion.
And I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. Motion passes. And now for our payables list.
I don't have a list. Could you, do you have it in front of you?
He's not up yet. I'll take this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Okay.
move that we approve the payables for the week of December 5th through the 9th, 2022 in the amount of $1,206,972.94 and jury panel payments in the amount of $4,035.95.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. And motion passes. So we are now on to item 13, which is electronic file release authorization agreement, RDO integrated controls with our solid waste department and our director, John Phillips.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. John Phillips for the record. The Solid Waste Department is requesting your authorization to enter into an agreement with RDO Controls for 3D modeling services. The proposed services are for conversion of files, electronic files from our engineers that relate to grade control at the landfill. We need those converted so that they'll be compatible with our GPS grade control system. The cost is $200 for this service, but it is a contract. Legal Services did review the contract and found it to be legally sufficient for the stated purpose.
Okay, questions? Motion?
I move that we approve the electronic file release authorization agreement for solid waste. And a motion.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Item 14, this is a financial budget item for loader tire purchase approval, solid waste. Again, Director Phillips.
Good afternoon, John Phillips again for the record. The Solid Waste Department is requesting your approval to move forward with the purchase of 4 solid rubber tires for one of our waste handler loaders at the Ramsey Transfer Station. These are pretty expensive tires, but they're specific for the purpose and needed in daily operations. The total price for 4 tires, including shipping, has been quoted at $30,587.74. The department did budget funds to cover these costs in this current fiscal year.
Okay, questions?
None.
All right, motion, please.
I move that we approve the financial budget for the loader tire purchase approval for solid waste.
Second.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. Item 15, additional services authorization number, and number 2, and it's for TO Engineers regarding the SRE building, which is the snow removal equipment building, and it's for special inspections, TO project number 220312, and our airport director, Stephen Kierkegaard.
Commissioner Stephen Kierkegaard, for the record, this is additional services. Some background on this. This was originally included in the bid package for the TML to complete it. However, during the bidding process, it was found through consultation with the bidders and our building department, this cannot be completed by them. And it was thought that the building department could do this work. However, they informed us they do not. And because we already had signed the contract with TO, this requires an amendment to add this. What this is testing of earthwork, inspection of concrete placement, inspection of steel framing, the reinforcement steel structures of the concrete, and then also the paving of the asphalt. This would have been normally included with the TML bid, so we would have paid for it either way. The delay of this service agreement is actually caused by the FAA. It's been sitting on their desk for about 2 months, which is why this has taken so long. The amount is $17,265.25. The FAA has agreed to fund this with our bill money next year, which we just received is an amount of $844,000 next year, now this fiscal year. So we will only pay between 5 and 7.5%, as the state will pick up between 2.5% and 5% of the total.
Okay.
All right.
So that's our match.
Our
I'm sorry,
match will
go
be
ahead, Bill.
between $863 and $1,294.
And you can't have these other people doing it because why?
Typically, as was described, is you don't want the fox to watch the hen house.
Okay, that makes sense. I can understand that.
Yeah, third-party inspections.
Yes, third-party inspections, and this is required by the building department.
Okay. Thank you. Questions? And motion?
None. Okay, I move that we approve the additional services authorization on number 2 with TO Engineers due to the fact that we had to shift contractors for this specific effort in the amount of $17,265.25, with the county portion, the match portion, to run between 5 and 7.5%. End of motion.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye.
I'm
Motion
also
passes.
losing my voice, so
Oh.
I apologize.
All right. Thank you, Stephen. All right, item 16, MOU renewal for emergency transportation with Kellogg School District number 391 and our Office of Emergency Management. Ms. Lafredo, did you join us by telephone?
Yes, I'm here. And good afternoon, Commissioners. Sarah Lafredo for the record. Today I am asking for your approval of an MOU renewal between Kootenai County and Kellogg Joint School District for use of emergency transportation. And the primary change made to this contract was just the contact information between Kootenai County and the school district. And yeah, just asking for your approval for this renewal.
Thank you. Questions? Okay, motion?
I move that we approve the MOU renewal for emergency transportation with Kellogg School District 391 and the Kootenai County Office of Emergency Management.
Second.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. And item 17, board approval request for new janitorial service at the Public Defender's Office and our building and grounds. Greg's here. The only thing I want to mention is, since it doesn't mention contract approval on the agenda, we'll have to bring it back next week.
Okay.
But still, I want to have the discussion and make a motion to approve the change.
Okay. Basically, we just, ABM was doing the janitorial work there. We released them from their responsibilities. This company already does the rest of the janitorial at the building, so we just want to move those over and have them take care of it. It's going to cost probably about $100 more a month, but then we don't have to pay for trash liners or anything like that, so it's probably a push.
Okay.
Okay. So any questions for Greg on this? Okay. So next week, we'll bring back the contract for ratification, but I would still like a motion to approve new janitorial service for the,
I will make a motion that with regard to the Public Defender's Office, that we approve the change to a new janitorial service as sponsored by our Buildings and Grounds organization. End of motion.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios?
Aye.
Bill Brooks?
Aye.
Chair Duncan?
aye, motion passes. Thank you. And Greg, I can handle it next week if you like. So, thank you. All right, item 18, addendum to memorandum of agreement, Nez Perce County and our public defender with our public defender, Ann Taylor.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Previously, you have agreed to allow our capital qualified team help Nez Perce County out. And we have utilized an outside investigator for the last several months. We're requesting that we utilize an in-house investigator from Kootenai County Public Defender's Office for the remainder of the case. Nez Perce County has approved that. If this county will approve it, and I think you have a copy of that addendum, the reason for that is simply the ease in working the case, having somebody in-house who's accessible and who works well with what I kind of want to have done. And it'll just take a load off me in trying to set up a lot of appointment time, so it'll save time for me.
Will it save money for Nez Perce?
It will.
Okay. All right, questions for Ann?
Okay. I don't have any.
I move that we approve the memorandum of agreement with Nez Perce County and the Public Defender's Office.
Second.
Commissioner Filios?
Aye.
Bill Brooks?
Aye.
Chair Duncan?
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
All right.
Ann?
Item 19, grant award, 2022 local community grant, Holidays and Heroes, Walmart, $4,500, no match required. And it says RMO, but I think Deputy Franson's going to handle this.
Actually, it'll be Stephanie Drobny. Franton is out the range today, so I'll be presenting for him. This is just a couple weeks ago, you guys approved for us to put in for a grant with Walmart for, it was up to $5,000. We were awarded $4,500 of that. There's no match, and so we're just asking that we can accept that money from Walmart now.
Any questions?
Are we funding the other $500? Is that it?
No, Stephanie, do you know how much was spent at Holidays and Heroes this year?
We don't have a total amount yet. I believe we're still waiting on invoices from Nick to submit. But I'm thinking, I want to say it was like $10,000 so far with just the gifts and like the shopping with the kids. But I think we're still waiting on a few more invoices. So I want to say about $10,000 to $11,000.
Okay, so then the other money is coming from the association or from what source?
No. So we already had, from last year, we had about $13,000 left from all the donations and the other Walmart grant that we got a year ago. So that money just rolled over. So we already started with $13,000, and now we're getting another $4,500 from Walmart.
Okay, I'm fine.
Thank you.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay, so I move that we accept the grant award for $4,500 for the 2022 local, which is a local 2022 local community grant for Holidays and Heroes, and Walmart at $4,500, and there's no match required. End of motion.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios?
Aye.
Bill Brooks?
Aye.
Chair Duncan?
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. Item 20, contract renewal for public safety software through Motorola Solutions. And this is our Flex and Command Central 5-year plan, and Ms. Hallgren with 911.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Hallgren from County. Actually, I work for the Sheriff's Office, but in IS. And this is a renewal that's long overdue through Motorola for what we know as the Spillman system. It's been in place for about 30 years, but it's been longstanding that we have not had a contract in place that's been fair to the county. Was able to rework it with them for a 5-year contract that's payable annually, and the cost will stay the same for the 5 years. We're also going to be charging the shared users on the system a fair share from now on, which it has not been done in the past. So I open for any questions.
Thank you for working on that. Questions for Cheryl?
Just one, who are the other users on the system, as an example?
It's the 14 agencies that are dispatched for by the county, so the fire agencies and everybody but Post Falls, Rathdrum, and ISP, basically.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, motion?
I move that we approve the contract renewal for public safety software through Motorola Solutions, Inc. Flex Command Central 5-year plan for the sheriff's office.
Second.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. All right, item 21, KCSO Animal Control Contract Agreement with increase of insurance amount for Companions Animal Shelter and our own Ms. Sandy Osborne.
Hi, good afternoon, Commissioners. Sandy Osborne, Animal Control Officer for the Sheriff's Office. On behalf of the Sheriff's Office, I'm requesting that the county terminate our current contract with the Post Falls Police Department to shelter impounded dogs, and then enter into a new contract with Companion Animal Center, which was formerly known as the Kootenai Humane Society, and so that they would shelter all of our impounded animals, not just dogs, but additional animals that might need to be impounded. In addition to impounding dogs, because they have a veterinarian on site, they would also be able to not only save us money as far as the impound fees that we are currently spending, but also in veterinary costs, probably roughly to the tune of maybe $19,000 a year. So we're asking that you approve our new contract if you've had a chance to read that, and then we can terminate the old contract.
So will you bring forth the termination then? Okay.
The county needs to give them a written 30-day notice, but yes. The new facility, the new canine, I don't know why I keep saying canine, but Companion Animal Center will likely be opening in January out on Atlas in Dakota. And once we know that they have their occupancy certificate, then we can cancel the other
Perfect.
contract.
Okay, good. So we have a little bit of an overlap to make sure we don't miss out.
Yes.
Okay. That is my only question. So any other questions?
Yeah, just one. Sandy, the 19,000 you alluded to, was that savings?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and that's just based on some average, I think it was like a 3-year average spent on impounds and veterinary care. We usually have been spending roughly $27,000 when we currently use the Post Falls Police Department shelter, because all of our veterinary care has to go to local veterinarians. Having a veterinarian on site, if we impound an animal, their veterinarian will basically take care of it free of cost. It's kind of part of the contract that you were provided. And so there's a major savings that way. And then just their overall impound fees that they will be charging us is less.
Okay.
Okay.
And now I remembered a question. How many ferrets do you impound?
Very rarely, I think maybe 2 in 13 years that I can remember.
Ferrets?
I've been
Ferrets.
We've
They're
been
just listed in the contract about, and other animals, i.e., ferrets.
I've impounded
Ever try to
rats
catch
as
a
well.
ferret?
If people are arrested and they have pets with them.
Oh,
That's
gotcha,
usually the
gotcha.
instances.
Okay.
Do you
Something
ever
other-
encounter any of the exotics, except in this facility?
Like parrots or things?
Gators? I
Yeah,
don't know if you're going to call them exotic, certainly not in Florida, but.
not impounding them, no. I have not had to impound any exotics.
Okay, just curious.
Excellent. Right, I would
Okay.
take a motion then.
Is that me?
No, it's me. Okay, so I move that we approve the potential change on behalf of our KCSO animal control contract with terminating the contract with Post Falls.
We're not doing termination yet.
We're not actually doing the termination yet, but a transition over to Companions Animal Shelter once the timing is appropriate to allow for that end of motion.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios?
Aye.
Bill Brooks?
Aye.
Chair Duncan?
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, and nice haircut. All right, item 22, Resolution 2022-87, and this is an Avon inflatable boat, asset number 1282, and we're going to, I guess, be doing a transfer. Is that what I understand? Is Sergeant Miller on the phone line?
Yes, good afternoon, Commissioner Sergeant Ryan Miller for the record. Yes, this is going to be a deletion from our fleet. It's a 1997 Avon inflatable. It was donated by Vista many years ago, used for the dive team. In the future, we'll have to get another vessel for what they use it for, river and ice rescues. We haven't been able to use it in the past few years due to it just falling apart. Again, it's inflatable and it's no longer repairable. So we're keeping the motor and the trailer for now and are just wanting to dispose of the inflatable portion. There's no longer any value in it.
So Dave, the agenda says transfer. So is that going to be a problem if we delete it?
On the form I submitted, I clicked deletion, so it should be on the asset transfer form. If you look at towards the top, it should say deletion on there.
All right. Okay, I'm going to feel that the risk is minimal now. So if we have to redo this because of a citizen complaint, we will be happy to redo this. So in other words, any other questions? Okay, so motion.
I move that we approve Resolution 2022-87 regarding an Avon inflatable boat asset 1282, transfer from the sheriff's office. Doesn't sound like it's inflatable anymore, huh? Okay.
Second.
Commissioner Filios?
Aye.
Bill Brooks?
Aye.
Chair Duncan?
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. All right, item 23.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Ryan. All right, item 23, Resolution 2022-106, and this is the obligation of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds, for the addition to the Justice building. So, all right, well, it looks like we have Kat and Dorian here to lead us. Go ahead.
Hi, Commissioners. This is Dorian Combrick with Resource Management Office. This resolution details the obligation of American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA funds, in the amount of $26,376,021 for the pre-construction and construction expenses associated with the addition to the Justice Building.
Okay. And Pat's looked this over, so questions for Dorian? Okay, motion?
Okay, so I move that we approve the Resolution 2022-106 to obligate the funds from the American Rescue Plan Act for the new Justice Building in the amount aforementioned, which was $26,321 and roughly $26,321 rounded off. End of motion.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios?
Aye.
Bill Brooks?
No.
Chair Duncan?
Aye. All right, motion passes. And item 24, Resolution 2022-107, and this is fiscal year 22 contingency resolution with our auditor's office and our finance director, Brandi Falcon, please.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Brandi Falcon for the record. This is something that the auditor's office does annually as we're closing out the fiscal year. So we take a look at all budgets countywide to see if there are any expenses that were significantly unforeseen and over budget. This year, there was a lot of sick leave termination costs countywide, and that is something that the BOCC budgets for in a lump sum. And then at year end, anyone who incurred that expense, we distribute it throughout the county. It was significantly over what was budgeted. $98,000 was budgeted. We incurred over $400,000 in expense. So we're recommending that you approve utilizing some of the leftover FY22 contingency funds to cover that expense in FY22.
All right, questions for Brandi?
Brandi, if we didn't use contingency, where else would we get the money?
It would just stay as over budget in the department's budgets. And I do want to say that all elected officials were in total still under, but it allows you to utilize a little bit without returning it all to fund balance, and we're utilizing it in an appropriate manner. Truly is an expense that was unanticipated, unforeseen in the amount.
Okay.
Okay.
Move that we approve Resolution 2022-107, FY '22 contingency resolution from the auditor's office.
Second.
Commissioner Filios?
Aye.
Bill Brooks?
Aye.
Chair Duncan?
Aye. All right, motion passes. Thank you. Number 25, board approval request, support letter, institutional controls program, Idaho Department of Environmental Quality. I will take this item. I received a call from Terry Harwood, and because of House Bill 316, I think it was, Panhandle Health District has lost its opportunity to make rules. So what DEQ would like to do is get the former rules into legislation, and so they will become law instead of just a rule under a department. And he asked for support letters. Shoshone's already submitted support letters, and I would suggest this board do the same. I believe that you guys have, did you get the support letter in the packet? You did. Okay. So are there any questions or anything? Are you all right with the way it's worded?
I'm fine.
Okay. So I brought hard copies so we can sign one to the Senate, one to the House once it's approved.
So we need a motion.
Yeah, just to make it clean.
Okay, so I move that the board approve the request for a support letter for institutional controls, for the institutional controls program as recommended by the Idaho Department of Environmental Quality, also known as IDEQ. End of motion.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios?
Aye.
Bill Brooks?
Aye.
Chair Duncan?
Aye, thank you. All right, item 26, board approval request, Westlaw for contract conflict attorneys. And I will take this one again as well. In September, during our regular scheduled meeting with the conflict contractors, we got a list of things that they needed to do their job better. This past month, they were conflicted about 21% of the cases, which is double what's normal. And so in order to help them do their work, we are considering a Westlaw contract. And you guys know what Westlaw is. It's kind of, Dave probably can explain it better. It's a way to look up case law to help them support their client.
Oh, I see, okay.
It's effective.
Yeah.
Database?
Yeah, so what I want today is if you guys are willing to consider it, then we will go and find out how much it's going to cost and bring a contract forward. Right now, there is one at district court that the attorneys can come and actually use. So we're already paying $900 a year for that, or a month. Oh, I can't remember. It's probably $900 a month.
Well,
Yeah.
My question is, how many conflict attorneys do we have?
Right, so we have between 12 and 15 right now. We'd like to get between 17 and 20, and we'll,
Include the firms or everybody?
that would just be individuals.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I know you buy it for the firm, and then the people within the firm can use it, is that correct?
It's typically how it works, right? So a solo practitioner would buy just
Right,
one
one,
account for
right.
himself. A firm with multiple attorneys would have a plan that covers that number of attorneys.
They get a break.
Yeah.
Typically, they might get a break for that, whether it's 3 or 5 or 7 or whatever it is. I would think you would want access, password access, just to, if it's a firm, to the one attorney who is the conflict public defender.
Yeah. The other thing we're going to research is find out how many conflicts already have this service. And if they don't have the service, those are the people that I'm concerned about. And if they don't have the service and we give them service, are they going to sign an agreement that they're not going to use it for their clients or they're going to reimburse the county kind of a cost share if they are going to use it for their clients. So
Sticky wicket, but I think you can figure it out.
yeah, we'll figure it out and we'll run it through legal and make sure that everything, but I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of the process. And
I have no
we're okay
problem
with
with it.
Westlaw does have a feature that when you log into it, you have to type in the client name. So there would be a way to track if an individual user is using it for other than
very good
conflict client work.
Fantastic. Okay.
It could certainly be tracked in that way on the back end.
Great. That is good news. Do you think board directions or staff directions okay, or do you want an actual motion? Because the contract will come forward with the amount of money.
Direction is fine for me.
Okay. All right. So I'm understanding that you guys are okay with direction for us to look at a contract. Fine. Okay. Sounds great. Now, that is our business portion of our meeting. Now we can go on to our status update pending list and our facilities expansion. So on December 8th, I was able to negotiate with a representative for Boughton Construction to set the fee for the pre-construction services. And then for the expansion, of course, of the Justice Building. We've agreed upon a fee that I find to be fair and reasonable, and it will be incorporated to Boughton's contract to be brought forward to next week's business meeting. I submitted their letter to both of you via email if you had a chance to read that.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's about $178,000, which we can back up with industry standards as being a good deal for us. So that's the update on that. So contract will be before us next week. And then impact fees are the only other thing on our agenda.
I was going to contact the mayors last week, and I had a personal situation come up last week that basically wiped my memory banks clean. One of my daughters is very ill, and I spent the majority of the week on that and did not do anything. So I will make that my priority this week.
Okay, thank you. All right, now, if I can find my agenda again, public comment. Okay, all right, hearing none, it is 2:33, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.